Picture this. You're sipping a flat white at your favorite Bondi cafe, scrolling through your phone when you see it. A headline screaming that Michael Burry, the bloke who predicted the 2008 financial crash and made millions, is betting against the market again. Your stomach drops. Is this a sign the Aussie economy's about to cop a hiding? Or is it just another storm in a teacup? If you're wondering whether your super, your house, or your ASX shares are at risk, you're not alone. Right now, 70% of Australians are stressed about their finances, with inflation biting at 4% and Sydney house prices still hovering around $1.2 million. Building wealth in this climate feels like surfing a rip at Bondi. One wrong move, and you're done. But here's the promise. In the next 60 minutes, we'll unpack Burry's big bet, what it means for you, and give you a rock-solid plan to protect and grow your wealth, no matter what the markets throw at you. Stick around, because we're about to reveal the one mistake most Aussies make when the market wobbles, and how you can avoid it. Let's dive in. Michael Burry's name carries weight. The man's a legend, not just for his role in the big, short, but for spotting cracks in the system others miss. When he shorts the market, betting that stocks will crash, it's like a siren going off. And right now, he's sounding that siren loud and clear. But before you panic and sell your BHP shares or pull your super out of the ASX 200, let's hit pause. Is Burry's bet a warning for everyday Aussies, or is it a distraction from the real game? We're going to break it down, step by step, with a plan that's as practical as a Bunnings sausage sizzle. From paying off that credit card debt that's been haunting you to investing in ETFs like VAS that can weather the storm, we've got you covered. So, grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's figure out if Burry's bearish call is a wake-up call or just noise. First up, we'll look at why Aussies are feeling the pinch and why Burry's move has everyone talking. Let's set the scene. You're an Aussie, maybe in Melbourne, juggling a mortgage that feels like a ton of bricks, or in Perth trying to save for your first home while rent eats half your pay. Or perhaps you're a retiree in Brisbane, watching your super bounce around like a footy in the grand final. Life's expensive, Woolworth's groceries are up 4%, petrol's not much better, and the Reserve Bank of Australia's cash rate is sitting at 4.35%, making your home loan sting even more. No wonder 70% of us lie awake at night worrying our savings won't last. It's tough out there, and when someone like Michael Burry, the guy who saw it coming, starts betting against the market, it feels like the universe is piling on. But here's the truth. It's not your fault the system feels rigged. The ASX 200's been a roller coaster, inflation's nibbling at your savings, and Sydney's median house price, $1.2 million, makes buying a home feel like climbing Uluru in thongs. Meet Sarah, a 32-year-old teacher from Brisbane. She's got a HEX debt hanging over her head, a credit card balance that creeps up every month, and a dream of owning a home before she's 40. Sound familiar? Sarah's story is the story of millions of Aussies, working hard, playing by the rules, but feeling like the finish line keeps moving. 2 years ago, she was drowning in stress, checking her bank account like it was a horror movie. Then she heard about Burry's latest move, and it hit her. If even the big dogs are nervous, what chance does she have? But here's where the story turns. Sarah didn't just sit there. She took control, paid off $5,000 in debt, and started investing small amounts in an ETF through Rise. Today, she's got a plan, and she's building wealth like a slow-cooked lamb roast. Steady, but worth it. That's what this is about. Hope, not fear. Burry's short might be making headlines, but it doesn't mean your financial dreams are done. Think of the Aussie economy like the Outback. Harsh, unpredictable, but full of opportunity if you know where to look. The ASX 200, for example, has averaged a 7% return annually over the long term, even with crashes. Super balances for 40-year-olds average $150,000, but with smart moves, that can grow to $1 million by retirement. The key? Understanding what Burry's bet really means for us. Is it a signal to panic or a chance to get ahead? Let's unpack it. Burry's betting on a market drop, but Australia's economy isn't the US. Our banks are solid. Think Combank NAB, and our resources sector like BHP and Rio Tinto keeps chugging along. Plus, trends like fintech, Afterpay anyone, and ESG investing are opening new doors. But let's not sugarcoat it. The cost of living is a kick in the guts. Inflation's running at 4%, and if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, you're probably spending half your income on rent or a mortgage. Add in credit card debt. 60% of Aussies carry a balance, and it's no wonder only 40% of us have an emergency fund. So when Burry says crash, it's natural to feel spooked. But here's the shift. You don't need to be a finance guru to come out on top. Like waiting for rain in the outback, building wealth takes time, but it's doable. Sarah learned that, and so can you. Coming up, we'll share 3 practical strategies to protect your money and grow it, even if Burry's right. First, we'll tackle debt, the kind that's harder to shake than a mate after a Barbie. Ready? All right, mates, let's get to the good stuff. How to protect your money and build wealth, even if Michael Burry's bearish bet has you sweating. Think of your finances like a footy match. You need a solid defense to stop the hits and a smart offense to score big. We're going to share 3 practical strategies that any Aussie, whether you're a young gun in Sydney, a mid-career pro in Melbourne, or a retiree on the Gold Coast, can start today. These aren't pie-in-the-sky ideas. They're as real as a snag on the Barbie. And here's a challenge to kick things off. Pause this video right now and grab a pen. Write down 1 financial goal you want to hit in the next year. Got it? Good. Let's dive in. Strategy 1. Crush your debt like a tinny. Debt's like a kangaroo. It'll knock you flat if you don't handle it. 60% of Aussies carry credit card debt, and with interest rates at 18% or more, it's a wealth killer. Take Emma, a 28-year-old barista from Adelaide. She had $10,000 in credit card debt, racking up interest faster than you can say Boxing Day sales. She used the debt snowball method. List your debts from smallest to largest, pay minimums on all but the smallest, and throw every spare cent at that one. Emma paid off her smallest debt, $2,000, in 6 months, then rolled that momentum into the next. Today, she's debt-free and saving for a house deposit. Step 1. Check your credit card balance tonight. Step 2. Pick your smallest debt and attack it. Apps like Money Brilliant can help you track it. Trust us, it's more satisfying than a cold one after a long day. Strategy 2. Invest smart with ASX ETFs. Burry's shorting the market, but that doesn't mean you should hide your cash under the mattress. The ASX 200 has averaged 7% annual returns over decades, crashes included. ETFs like Vanguard's VAS track the ASX 200, spreading your risk across top companies like BHP, Combank, and Woolies. Liam, a 35-year-old Sparky from Perth, started investing $200 a month in VAS through Rise. In 10 years, his portfolio's grown to $30,000, enough for a deposit on an investment property. You don't need a fat wallet to start. Apps like Rise or ComSec Pocket let you invest with as little as $50. Here's the trick. Set up automatic investments and forget about it. It's like planting a eucalyptus tree. Small now, massive later. Want a challenge? Open a micro-investing account this week and chuck in $20. You'll thank yourself when you're sipping cocktails on the Gold Coast. Strategy 3. Boost your super for the long haul. Your super's your ticket to a comfy retirement. But the average 40-year-old Aussie has just $150,000 in super, way short of the $1.5 million needed for a comfortable lifestyle. Nguyen, a 42-year-old nurse from Melbourne, was contributing the standard 9.5% to her super, but realized she could do more. She added an extra 2% through salary sacrifice, saving on tax and boosting her balance. By 60, she's on track for an extra $200,000. Check your super fund. First Super or Australian Super have low-fee options, and consider bumping up your contributions even by 1%. It's like topping up your esky before a Barbie. Small effort, big reward. Quick challenge, log. Into your super account today and see what your balance is. Shocked? Good. Let's fix it. These strategies aren't just about surviving a market wobble. They're about thriving. But here's the kicker. None of this works if you don't act. Burry's bet is a wake-up call, not a death sentence. Coming up, we'll talk about building wealth for the long term, so your money grows like a reef in the coral sea. But first, here's a question. What's one expense you could cut this month to free up cash for investing? Drop it in the comments. We're curious. Next, we'll reveal the secret most Aussies miss when planning for retirement. Stay tuned. Now that we've tackled debt, started investing, and supercharged your super, let's zoom out and talk about building wealth that lasts. Like a boomerang, you throw it right, and it comes back stronger. Michael Burry's shorting the market. Might have you worried about tomorrow, but the real game is making sure your money works for you 10, 20, even 30 years from now. Whether you're a 20-something saving for your first home, a 40-something balancing kids and a mortgage, or a retiree eyeing a comfy life on the Sunshine Coast, this is where you lock in your future. Let's build a plan that's as solid as the Sydney Harbour Bridge, using strategies that keep your wealth growing, no matter what the markets do. First, let's talk sustainability. The average Aussie needs $1.5 million in super for a comfortable retirement. Think holidays in Bali, a nice car, and no stress about bills. But with inflation running at 4%, that number could climb to $2 million in a decade. Scary? Maybe. But here's the good news. Small habits now can get you there. Take Aisha, a 45-year-old freelancer from Sydney. 5 years ago, her super was a measly $80,000. And she was terrified she'd be working at Coles into her 70s. She started diversifying, mixing ASX ETFs like VDHG for growth, some rental property income from a unit in Newcastle, and low-risk bonds. Today, her portfolio's worth $300,000, and she's on track to retire at 60 with over $1 million. Her secret? Consistency and diversification. Spread your investments like you're plating a Barbie. Some meat, some veg, a bit of everything. Step 1. Diversify your portfolio. The ASX 200's a great start, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Add international ETFs like VGS for global exposure. Think Apple, Amazon, and other heavy hitters. Consider rental properties if you've got the capital. Median rents in Brisbane are up 5%, making it a solid income stream. And don't sleep on fixed income options like government bonds or term deposits, especially with the RBA's cash rate at 4.35%. They're like the defensive midfielder in your financial team. Not flashy, but they keep you safe. Aisha used a robo-advisor like StockSpot to automate her mix, saving her time and stress. Challenge time. Pull up your investment app, Rise, ComSec, whatever, and check if your portfolio's got at least 3 asset types. If not, add one this month. Next, let's talk habits, the kind that turn ordinary Aussies into millionaires. Discipline beats talent every time. Take Tom, a 52-year-old tradie from Perth. He's no finance bro, but he's built a 7-figure net worth by living below his means. He drives a 10-year-old ute, shops at Aldi, and invests the savings, $500 a month, into dividend-paying ASX stocks like CBA and Telstra, which yield around 4%. Over 20 years, that's grown to $400,000, plus his super's at $600,000. His trick? Delayed gratification. Skip the daily flat white at $15 a pop, and you're saving $4,000 a year. That's enough for a decent ETF investment. Here's a question for the comments. What's one small expense you could cut to boost your savings? Maybe it's that extra streaming subscription or those sneaky Uber Eats orders. Planning for the long term also means protecting your wealth. Estate planning isn't just for toffs in Point Piper. A simple will and a binding death nomination for your super can save your family a world of pain. Lisa, a 60-year-old nurse from Melbourne, learned this the hard way. When her dad passed, his super got tied up in legal nonsense because he hadn't nominated a beneficiary. It cost her family $20,000 in fees. Lisa fixed her own super nomination in 10 minutes through Australian Super's website and set up a will for $500 through a lawyer. It's like checking your smoke alarms, boring but essential. Quick challenge: Google binding death nomination and see if your super's sorted. Do it this week. It's easier than you think. Finally, let's dream big. Wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about freedom. Imagine retiring at 55, surfing at Bondi every morning, or taking the grandkids to the MCG for the grand final without checking your bank balance. That's what long-term planning does. The ASX 200 7% average return means $100 invested today could be worth 730 years. Start small, stay consistent, and your wealth will grow like a coral reef. Slowly, but unstoppable. Coming up, we'll wrap this up with a powerful call to action to get you moving. But first, here's the secret most Aussies miss. The biggest risk isn't a market crash, it's doing nothing. Stay with us. We've come a long way, haven't we? From that gut punch moment when you heard Michael Burry's betting against the market again, to a rock-solid plan to protect and grow your wealth. This isn't just about dodging a market crash, it's about building a future where you're free. Free to quit the job you hate, to take that trip to the Great Barrier Reef, to know your kids or grandkids won't have to worry. Let's recap the journey, because you're not just building wealth. You're building a legacy, as enduring as the red sands of the outback. First, we face the fear. Burry's short sent shockwaves, and with good reason. 70% of Aussies are stressed about their finances, staring down 4% inflation and $1.2 million house prices in Sydney. But we didn't stop there. We met Sarah, the Brisbane teacher who clawed her way out of debt, and Aisha, the Sydney freelancer who turned her super into $1 million dream. Their stories showed us it's not about having a fat paycheck, it's about making smart moves. We tackled debt with the snowball method, crushing it like a tinny after a Barbie. We invested in ASX ETFs like VAS, planting seeds that'll grow into mighty eucalypts. We boosted our super, ensuring it's a coral reef of wealth by retirement. And we planned for the long haul, diversifying like a well-stocked esky and adopting millionaire habits, discipline, patience, and a bit of cheeky frugality. But here's the heart of it. Your financial journey is like sailing the Great Barrier of coral. Tricky waters, sure, but navigate with wisdom and the rewards are endless. Burry's bet might signal a storm, but you're not a leaf in the wind. You've got the tools to steer your ship. The ASX 200 7% long-term return, the power of apps like Rise, the stability of Combank and BHP, these are your anchors. And don't forget the intangibles, the pride of paying off that credit card, the thrill of seeing your first ETF dividend hit, the peace of knowing your super's sorted. That's not just money, that's power. So here's your challenge, a 7-day sprint to kickstart your journey. Day 1, check your credit card balance and pick one debt to smash. Day 2, open a Rise or ComSec pocket account and chuck in $50. Day 3, log into your super and bump up your contribution by 1%. Day 4, cut one expense, maybe that extra coffee or Uber Eats order. Day 5, write down your big financial dream, retiring at 55, buying a home in Melbourne, whatever lights you up. Day 6, tell a mate about one thing you learned today. Day 7, come back to this video and comment your first step. Sound doable? It's easier than getting a park at Bondi on a summer weekend. Let's make this viral because every Aussie deserves to know this stuff. Hit that like button if you're ready to take control. Subscribe for more no-nonsense tips to build your wealth. And share this with someone who needs a nudge. Your mate drowning in debt, your cousin saving for a house, your mum worrying about her super. Together, we're not just surviving Burry's warning, we're thriving. Drop a comment. What's your first step toward financial freedom? Is it paying off that credit card, investing in an ETF, or just believing you can do this? Let's start a movement, right here, right now. Your future's waiting, and it's brighter than a sunrise. Over Uluru, go get it.